Welcome back to Forbidden Knowledge News. I'm your host, Chris Matthew. Joining me is Cory Hughes, and tonight our guest is Peter Saddington. Before I bring him on, I want to tell you all about C60 Purple Power. It is an amazing super antioxidant. It acts as a free radical sponge, eliminates toxins in the body. I feel better than I've felt in years, and you should too. Just check out their website to learn all about it. You can click the link in the description or visit c60purplepower.com and use coupon code KNOWLEDGE10 if that link doesn't work by any chance. You're going to get 10% off your order plus free shipping. Also, please subscribe to Forbidden Knowledge News on lbry.com, which is our official backup channel. We also have a brand new show called Beyond Classified. It is exclusively on Rokfin, which is an amazing new uncensored platform for free-thinking content creators and independent media. You're going to find tons of content creators there already, just like Forbidden Knowledge News, names you know already. You're going to find all the topics that you can no longer hear on YouTube as well. And finally, you can get tickets to Forbidden Knowledge NewsCon 2021 right now, April 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. You're going to have 12 amazing presenters. Just visit forbiddenknowledge.news to check out this year's awesome lineup and pick up your tickets today. All those links are in the description. Tonight, I want to welcome Peter Saddington. He is co-founder of Emrit CoolSpot, Forex founder, angel investor, and VC. He runs a $10 million fund focusing on IoT and blockchain. He's the author of the Agile Pocket Guide and Gravity, How to Create an Irresistible Brand, Unlimited Deal Flow, and Infinite Possibilities. He is also an Agile coach and certified Scrum trainer. Peter, welcome. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing very, very well. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm excited to talk with you guys.
Yeah, I am too. This is a very exciting opportunity, and it's an opportunity for all you guys, for everyone. We're going to be discussing your new CoolSpot, which actually lets you make money with crypto through a wireless IoT network, which I'm going to have you explain a little later. Now, I've recently just got involved with cryptos. Actually, Cory got me involved with it. I'm still trying to learn and understand how everything works, but I have seen firsthand its potential when it comes to what you can earn and, possibilities of it replacing our current system in the future. I want to start tonight with a little bit more about your background and what got you involved with cryptocurrencies.
Great question. Well, for me, I got in really early. Long story short, in October of 2011, I read an Ars Technica article online talking about this technology stack that had lost value. Now, for me, as an engineer developer, that made no sense. How could C# or .NET or PHP or Perl, how could a technology stack lose value? So it immediately captivated my interest. And as I read that article, it was talking about this protocol called Bitcoin. I had never heard of Bitcoin before. And as many Bitcoiners will tell you, they pretty much went down the rabbit hole. That's exactly what I did. I went down the rabbit hole for an entire 3 to 4 weeks, just consuming as much as I possibly could. And I got my first Bitcoin in November of 2011 at $2.52. And so I am one of the fortunate few that have been in early. I did go through massive amounts of losses, and there are some regretful purchases in my history with Bitcoin, but nothing like a pizza, that's for sure. So for me, it really was a technological phenomenon for me. It kind of reminded me at the time about Tim Berners-Lee. When Tim Berners-Lee created the internet back in the early 90s, 92, 93, 94, he had created a protocol that would expand exponentially to and cover essentially every corner of the globe. And so that right there was the primary reason that I believed that Bitcoin would do the same. As a protocol, you can't turn it off. It can't be uninvented. And the internet protocol is expanding to every corner of the globe. And so my assumption is Bitcoin as a protocol that you can't turn off, it's invariably going to scale and touch every corner of the globe. And so I believe it is a valuable and worthwhile endeavor to research and due diligence on Bitcoin. And if you're convinced, I think it's a great investment.
Hey, before we get too far, let me ask you to explain the pizza to the audience, because I'm sure most of them don't know about it.
So it was 10,000 Bitcoins some of the early Bitcoiners used to buy a pizza. And I forget the exact price, but I mean, 10,000 Bitcoins for a pizza, we're talking about like Millions, more than millions and millions and millions of dollars now. So that is an expensive pizza. And so if you type in Bitcoin pizza on Google, you'll most likely find that story of some I think it was two very unfortunate souls that pulled together their money and spent 10,000 Bitcoins on pizza. Not the smartest thing in retrospect, but you know what? Who would have thought? Who would have thought that it's
back then, like you really didn't know the value of a Bitcoin, what it could be, if it could be anything. So 10,000 Bitcoins for some pizzas wasn't necessarily a bad deal at the time because it was a technology that nobody knew if it would go anywhere, right? So
and most of the market makers back in that time were really on the dark web. And so there was no consistency of valuation of Bitcoin on the dark web at the time. And so let's just say I know a guy who's spent some time on the dark web and he tells me that there's a lot of variable pricing when it comes to buying certain things there. And so I believe him very much so because he's a trustworthy friend of mine. And so back then there was no there was massive price fluctuation. There was no consistency in the value of Bitcoin at the time. Yeah.
Well, I guess when it comes to discussing cryptos, I think we should start with people who aren't familiar with how they work, what is the benefit of it, and why should people get involved now? If you could just give us like a brief overview of how cryptos work and the importance of them.
4 things, all you need to know. It is, number 1, decentralized. What that essentially means is that no central authority owns it. No big bank owns Bitcoin. It is spread all over the world. Number 2, it's censorship resistant, which means that you can't turn it off. You can't shut it off. It's just not possible. Number 3, it is what is it? Decentralized. I'm losing my brain right now. Decentralized. It's censorship resistance. It is. There's 2 others. I'm losing my mind right now. I was thinking about it.
I think the censorship resistance is the most important aspect and what really makes it valuable. Because you can no longer stop people from sending money, right? You can't control the flow of money.
Yes. Number 3, I don't have brain fart for a second. It is a capped supply. So it is a limited supply. This means that at 2140, I believe, which will all be dead, so it won't matter. But at 2140, the last Bitcoin is going to be mined. So it's a scarce thing. And so decentralized, censorship resistance, it's scarce. And last, and I think this is most important, it is a people's network. And so the people of the world own this thing. Now, people will argue and say there are a lot of banks buying this up. However, the original intent for it was that it would be a sovereign currency that anyone can use. And right now it's priced at a point where you can't really use it for everyday purchases, which people assumed that you would be able to do that. But right now it is a powerful, powerful store of wealth. And you brought up this idea earlier in your intro about it potentially replacing our current monetary system. I think we are in the midst of a grand monetary experiment that's happening right now all over the world, where people are realizing that the fiat currencies that they have, they're just continue to devalue them. And so Bitcoin is a great store of value. I think most fund managers today, I'm hoping most fund managers today will suggest that if you're going to be doing any type of investing, you should probably include cryptocurrency and Bitcoin as an asset class within your balanced portfolio. So that's the type of guidance that I'm getting a lot these days from financial advisors. And certainly I agree with them. Having a little bit of Bitcoin, it's not going to hurt you that much to have some.
Now, I've heard some conspiracy theorists worried that, cryptocurrency will eventually be taken over by the big banks and these corporate interests and exactly where we don't want it to be. And eventually it'll be in their control anyway. What do you say to that?
Look, if we look at the macroeconomics of the world, what happens in every single industry? Well, we end up having centralization. It's just the nature of the beast. All the major telcos, I think it's like 6 to 10 companies own all of it. When it comes to internet, it's just going to be the same. Certain type of market demographics, there's going to be one big player and 10 small players. So in the end, every type of market out there ends up being controlled generally by about 6 to 10 major players. Now, can that happen to Bitcoin? Absolutely. And probably the dogmatic and purist Bitcoiners out there are probably rolling right now saying, no, say it ain't so. But This is people acting in their own free will, often with self-interest, especially if you're a big company and you can buy up these types of things. It's going to happen. And so people will say, well, what's the solution then? Well, the great thing is that you can create many different types of cryptocurrencies. You can create different types of asset classes. There's going to be ones that serve different types of purposes, like security tokens versus store of value tokens versus work tokens or utility tokens, right? Data transfer tokens. And so there's going to be many different permutations in which not only can you invest, but obviously you can build technology stacks on top of. And that's something that I've been doing since 2016, 2017 is I've been an entrepreneur in the cryptocurrency space because this space not only is booming, but the opportunities, it's almost green fields. Everything's new because everything that currently exists in our current technology world can be transitioned to a decentralized system if it makes sense at the time to do so. And it has enough support from a network. And so for me, almost everything in the world is going to end up moving to probably some semblance of a crypto token or some type of tokenization. So for me, as a kind of a forward thinking entrepreneur, this is where I want to play. This is where I want to be.
And this is more secure than most people would think. You know, most people think online currency, it could be hacked or someone could get into it. What do you have to say to that?
Absolutely. That's a great question. One of the things that when people ask me, hey, I'm getting into cryptocurrency for the first time, part of the first conversations that I have with them about cryptocurrency is they need to get educated on new security behavior patterns. And so the problem with most people coming into cryptocurrency is they come in with all their bad security habits into the cryptocurrency world. And that's when you are copying and pasting stuff, you're fat fingering things, you're saving your password on your Chrome browser, like really foolish things that you do kind of as a normie. But once you come into the crypto world, it requires a little bit of education, a little bit of sophistication to ensure the value that you have is secure. And for me is a huge deal because I'm big on personal responsibility. I know it's kind of a fringe topic these days to talk about it, but cryptocurrency requires personal responsibility because now the banks don't own your money. You do. I know this is a novel concept and people might say, well, I like having a bank hold it. Well, it's technically not your money because you can't pull it all out when you want to. You're limited. Not only that, there's massive amounts of restrictions. There's massive amounts of regulatory, all this financial crap and all this tracking of where your money goes and where your money flows. Bitcoin gives you the opportunity to transact anonymously or pseudo-anonymously. I'm sure Cory and I can get into the technicals all day about that. But let's just say it's pseudo-anonymous and you are owning and in control of your own value. This is an awesome thing, but it requires new behavior patterns and security for sure.
Okay, very good. Now, Cory, do you think we should cover anything else on cryptocurrencies in general before we move into what Peter's got going on with the Cool Spot? And also, anyone in the audience, if you have any questions for Peter or Cory about cryptocurrencies, about what we're talking about as we go, please leave your questions in the chat and we'll definitely get to those. Anything else you think we should touch on, Cory, before we move on from just cryptocurrencies in general?
Well, I think a lot of people don't really understand why there are like 10,000 cryptos. Can you explain, Peter, what Bitcoin dominance is and what it means for other cryptos?
Great question. So a lot of people do wonder about this because the mainstream media tends to spend a lot of time on the scam coins and the BitConnects. You remember that, Cory, back in the day.
Yes, I'm the only person on the planet who will say that BitConnect was not a scam.
I know. That's why I said that. Cory and I actually have had a lot of conversations. So for everyone out there, I've known this dude for like 5 years. To the last, I think 2016 is the first time we chatted. So we've had some very heart-to-heart conversations and some heated conversations, but friendly because we respect each other and we love what each other are doing. But yeah, there are a couple things that we disagree on, maybe just BitConnect. But because the mainstream media is covered and spent a lot of time on the scam token world, it's kind of soured the whole idea of entrepreneurship and startups within the cryptocurrency world. Now, there's so many wonderful projects. I would actually go as far as to say is the top 100 coins that you could find on a coin market cap or any type of index. The top 100 coins, those are real active projects with real engineers, real developers behind them, building really cool applications for the future. Now, a lot of these applications for the non-techno savvy, they're not going to change your life. However, these are opportunities to look forward into the future. And that's one thing that I talk a lot about with people who are wondering and skeptical about cryptocurrency. They say, what's the point? I'm not going to use this decentralized data storage. I'm not going to use this decentralized, video platform. Like, why does it matter to me, Peter? It's like, because these guys are on the tip of the spear, the bleeding edge of technological innovation in the cryptocurrency space. If you spend time researching and understanding what they're building, not only will you be intrigued, I promise you, but number two, you might just invest, because some of the things that these projects are endeavoring on are truly world changing. They have world impact, international and global impact, not only on markets, on financial markets, but in markets that that all of us play in, shipping, like Amazon, decentralizing that, like there's a decentralized Wikipedia that is censorship resistance now. There are other video platforms where you can't get banned or censored. I experienced this. Two of my YouTube channels, one at 60,000 subscribers and one at 80,000 subscribers, both were censored by YouTube because all I was doing was talking about crypto. This was back in the 2016 and 2018 days. And so I built up this huge following, and then YouTube shut it down. And so I think we are in a time and era in which willful ignorance is not your friend. And to look at what the cryptocurrencies are doing and what these projects are doing is a look into the future. And so not only could you find opportunities in the visions of these crypto projects, but again, you might just invest, because what they're building could affect you invariably in the future, maybe just not right now.
Okay, so let me ask you this, and this will lead us into talking about your cool spot. What exactly is the Internet of Things?
The Internet of Things. So the Internet of Things came out about a decade ago. And the big promise of the Internet of Things was that everything was going to be connected, right? Your typical Black Mirror type of world where your refrigerator is connected to your phone, which is connected to your AC unit, which is connected to your home monitoring system, which is connected to your car, right? This is future forward thinking. However, that's what IoT promised when it came out. The Internet of Things is that every device would be connected in some way that could talk. And for us first world individuals, this is a huge opportunity for home automation, which is one of the biggest booming markets right now. Now, in the third world country, they might not necessarily care about connecting everything, if you know what I mean. And so for them, IoT gives them an opportunity to access other systems for financial means, or for banking and financial services, or transacting with other devices like even a vending machine that would make life easier, and obviously last mile vendors who don't have consistent access to the internet. So the Internet of Things is essentially an opportunity for lots and lots and lots of devices all over the world to connect, talk, transact, send data, and for us, again, first world people, for us, the big boon is going to be home automation and tracking whatever you want to track. And so I see IoT as an opportunity for us in some sort of self-sovereignty to be able to manage our own lives and what we want to track, and not have all these other big companies track us without our knowledge. And so there's opportunities in IoT there.
All right, thank you for that. I do have an audience question that's going to lead us into that. Can you recommend any legit mining sites? Well, you're in luck. That's what this whole show is about, introducing your cool spot. And you're actually going to be one of our affiliates. We'll be talking about the cool spot quite often on the show from now on. So awesome. Tell us, what is the cool spot? What have you been working on? And why should people get involved with this?
Great. Well, back in 2016, I actually started mining Bitcoin in 2012 on my Dell XPS laptop, when I could actually mine an entire couple Bitcoins in like a couple days. It was awesome. But now it's a little bit more expensive. So back in 2016, 17, 18, I went really hard into Bitcoin mining. I'd get Ant miners. I got the Sia coin miners. I got the I tried it all. We ended up spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in a offsite location up in Kennesaw, Georgia, with cheap internet and relatively cheap utilities. And we scaled up a huge mining operation. Now, that ended up going under, and we ended up just breaking even because we ended up selling all of our miners and our GPU miners at the time to gamers, because GPU mining at the time, you might remember this, Cory, there was a big shortage. And so there was a price spike in it. So we took advantage of it before we could get out. But I learned a lot. And one of the biggest things is to secure Bitcoin. Let's just use Bitcoin for an example. To secure Bitcoin, it requires miners all over the world to participate in the network so that the network doesn't become centralized, it stays decentralized. And there are financial incentives for helping mine. The problem is right now, if you're mining Bitcoin, it's just not cost efficient. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. And if you do want to mine Bitcoin, you're going to end up with a huge, relatively large rig, or a really loud and hot rig that's going to cost you thousands of dollars that could potentially only earn you maybe $50 a month in Bitcoin. And so this was a problem that I wanted to solve. And so what Emrit CoolSpot is, you can go to emrit.io, EMRIT.io.
Or you can actually just click the link we have in the description as well.
Below. Sorry, you can click the link below. You can check that out. What Emrit CoolSpot is we've solved we've solved a lot of problems, but we've solved two primary problems from the get-go. We've solved mining at home. We now have the ability to mine cryptocurrency at home for less than a cost of an LED light bulb per month, which is about 37 cents. So for less than $1 a month, you can now mine cryptocurrency with my device. So what is this device? This device we are giving away for free. We're giving the device away for free. It's a $300 hotspot miner. You connect it to your mobile app, and you connect it to your Wi-Fi. It's that simple. Cory's done it. And that's it. You plug it in, you connect it, and it begins participating in helping the Helium network, which is another cryptocurrency, HNT, the Helium network grow. And so what we're doing is we want to build the global wireless IoT network of the future, which means we want to create an entire global network all over the world that is free to connect to, and you can mine and earn cryptocurrency on. And so that's essentially what our device is that we've solved, number one, home mining, because we're giving it to you for free and you can immediately start earning cryptocurrency that you can transfer into dollars. But number two, which is really close to my heart, is we're solving, in my opinion, the first steps of universal basic income. Now, politics aside, I don't care what your politics are. Okay, maybe for us in the first world, we might not care about an extra $30 a month from a miner that I got for free, right? It's not life-changing money, maybe. However, for 90% of the world, $25 to $30 a month for free is significant. And for 50% of the world, 25 to 30 USD per month is life-changing. And so for me, that's where I want to go. I want to be able to give our product away for free to everyone on the planet so that they can not only get into cryptocurrency, and you don't even need to be sophisticated. You don't need to know anything about mining, anything about hashing, anything about cryptocurrency or wallets or exchange. You don't need to know any of that. All you need to know is how to plug it in to your Wi-Fi and your mobile device. And suddenly you check the app and you're mining HNT and you can transfer it off for fiat. It's really, really simple. And so I want to change the world. I want to get this out into emerging economies, third world countries where $25, $30 a month really is life-changing, so that they can stop worrying about hand to mouth and they can start focusing on innovation. What can they build with their creativity? What can they do with their time? Because now they're not having to spend all this time just trying to survive. They have that for them. So now, what can we do? And I think, this is my hypothesis, is that if we can get this into billions of people's hands all over the world, because it's free, I mean, the value proposition is awesome, I think we can see a technological explosion in different places of the world. And I hope I live long enough to be able to see the impact of that. So that right there are the two visions. We're giving people the ability to mine cryptocurrency at home. And number two, we want to start moving towards this universal basic income that I believe can significantly impact and change the world for better.
Let me just say this real quick. Currently, the HNT tokens are about $1.50, give or take. And so the one thing that I am really big on in crypto is extrapolating potential value based on the current metrics of the token. And so in looking at the supply, there'll be a maximum supply of 200 million, give or take. That to me puts the peak value of HNT somewhere between $30 and $50 once the actual market booms, because we are not even in crypto. We're not in alt season yet. It hasn't even begun. It's soon to begin. And I think that you will see a $30 to $50 HNT. So basically my strategy for HNT really is just to stack these coins while they're dirt cheap. And then when they hit 30 to 50 bucks, you'll be sitting on who knows how much. This is my current strategy for most of the cryptos that I'm acquiring these days, is to buy, hold, and wait, and then turn into Bitcoin at some point in the future.
It's like you're reading a page out of my prospectus to my investors. Absolutely, 100%. And so what I'm about to say is technical, but I think it's important and germane for the conversation that we're having right now. So there are many different types of cryptocurrency tokens. There are store of value tokens, there are financial asset tokens, there are STOs, there's work tokens, and utility tokens. So there's all these different types of permutations of tokens. What is Helium? What is HNT? Helium is a work/utility token. Now, if you know anything about the tokenomics or the economics of this type of system, is that it is linear growth. It is not up to speculative asset variables. Not only that, but it is not a store of value, which means the growth of HNT is a function of usage, which means as the network expands and grows, the more valuable HNT will become. And so, Cory, you're 100% right. On our prospectus, we see this as an opportunity for 10x, 20x, maybe even up to 50x over the next 5 to 10 years, especially since we here at Emirates are the #1 worldwide deployer of hotspots. And so I feel honored and somewhat self-interested, if you can think about it that way, because we are directly impacting the price and the scale and the growth of this token, because we're the ones passing out the most hotspots out to the world for free. And so it's great to be able to actively participate in not only the growth of our network and the growth of our company, but kind of as an outcome, we're also directly impacting the valuation of the coin itself. And so it is a real unique trifecta of self-interest, but at the same time, we believe that we've created a value proposition that is undeniably awesome, with potential financial upside, with zero risk to all of our users. We're giving it out for free. We handle shipping. We handle the chip manufacturing, the building. We provide customer support. We provide platform and a mobile app that we're going to be deploying in the next couple months. And so we're providing all of this for free, as long as you guys are willing to take our product for free and help us grow the network.
Now, what's the current value of the Helium Network token, and where do you expect that to go within the next, say, year or so?
I think the current value is sitting about $1.80, I believe. Maybe Cory can do a quick check on that. But just a couple months ago, it was about $1. And so in the next year, let's just say 2021. In 2021, I can see the opportunity for, and I'll just be 100% realistic, I can see an opportunity for HNT to go back down to 50 cents. I also see the opportunity for HNT also to go up to $4.50. And so we're looking at a double over the next course of the year. Remember, and this is what's great about blockchain, is you can go to Helium, you can check out their block explorer, and you can see how many hotspots are being deployed every day. And if you do any type of trajectory or statistical analysis on the growth of these hotspots, you will see that I think we're at 15,000 now. And we're going to, in the next year, probably going to be double or triple. So if you think about,
let me cut you off for a second. The price of Helium today is $248.
Just kidding. So, and if you look at the price analysis, wasn't it just like $1.25 a couple weeks ago? So yeah. So it's rising right now. And so if you have My Cool Spot in your house, you would literally be earning Helium tokens right now. You'd be mining it right now, and you would love to see your wallet go incrementally up. That's always a cool thing.
Just for comparison, right now, I think I'm trending somewhere around 30 to 40 tokens per month total. So, because
so you're getting 30 or 40 HNT tokens. And how much did you pay to get those?
Nothing.
Oh,
and now they're worth $250. So that's like what, $75 that we've made in like probably 3 weeks or a month, something like that.
And you didn't pay anything?
Right.
Dang, man, what a great deal.
So I think some of the audience is having a little trouble understanding how exactly these are making money out of basically thin air. I mean, if you could kind of break it down a little bit more
Welcome
so
to
the
crypto.
audience understands.
So helium, what is helium doing? Maybe we should start there. What helium is doing is creating a wireless network. Now you might say, well, Peter, I already have wireless network. I have a Bluetooth. That's a wireless network. I have a Wi-Fi. That's a wireless network. I have a cell phone. That's a wireless network too. The problem is all of these networks are very close range and generally not shareable, right? What's great about the helium token is it's using LoRaWAN, or long range a wireless connectivity. And so these things can talk to each other up to 10 miles away. And so if you create a network of these hotspots, the ideal range is about 2 miles. So if you have these hotspots every 2 miles all over the place, you literally create a wireless network that anyone can have access to. And this is so powerful. It's not controlled by a telco. It's not controlled by a large conglomerate corporation. It's controlled by each hotspot owner. And so I'll give you a really simple example. I have hotspot in my house. I went to all of my neighbors and I said, hey, here's a product. Please use it. And so I've created a network around my entire small city here, my little town here, and we're all mining and we're all earning. What's the question? The question is, how does it work? We are securing the wireless network, and for doing so, Helium rewards you with HNT tokens, which are transferable into fiat or dollar or whatever your local currency is. Right now we're in 30 countries, so there's a lot of transactions going on.
I think the biggest question that people might have is, how does a token go from 10 cents to $1 million?
Great question. It's a utility token, and because of the tokenomics of it, the value of the token rises with the growth of usage. And so the more that these hotspots are spread out, and the more IoT device makers are connecting their devices to this network, the more traffic that will run through it, and the more that you can earn. And so I don't want to get too technical into it, but I'll give you just a couple examples. When you have that hotspot, it's not sucking in any data. Doesn't have any radiation. It's a long LoRaWAN, long PHY technology. So there's not a lot of radiation, all that craziness. And what they're doing is they're essentially chirping. So not large data packets, very small data packets. And what this chirping does is making sure that there's proof of coverage, that there's coverage from my house to my neighbor and my neighbor to my other neighbor. And so for doing proof of coverage work, chirping at each other and talking with each other, you are rewarded with helium tokens. Now, remember the whole point. The whole point is to create a wireless global network. And so we want to ensure that these things are constantly talking to each other to ensure that network coverage is there. And so what we're doing right now, and this is really exciting, is device manufacturers 10 years ago were kind of given this promise that there's going to be rails for them to run on. Problem is no one built the rails because it's just too expensive for a telecom to start putting in hotspots everywhere for long range wireless access. And so we ended up with this huge surge in device makers, trackers that are tracking elephants in Africa, water trackers in your local municipality. There's all sorts of trackers that are out there, but they're not working as intended. They're working off a Wi-Fi network as opposed to an IoT network. And so there's a huge pent up demand for the real rails to run on, a real IoT network to run on. And so for us, we're providing those rails for these IoT device makers to work on. And it's just been amazing the amount of inbound that we've had from partners all over the world who say, holy crap, you're finally providing the network availability for my device to actually run. A real simple example everyone can understand is a tracker on a scooter in your your big metropolitan downtown city. All of those can be connected to an IoT network so that they can track where the scooters are going, and it's free, right? It's running on a free network, free network. And so this is really powerful. if you think about it, now we can connect all these cool devices that these manufacturers are making to a network that runs for free. You don't have to pay. You don't have to type in a password. You don't have to go in your Starbucks and get hacked because you're going into some crazy, completely abused network that everyone knows about, right? This is a free, unhackable network where devices can transfer data and where they can connect with each other and talk with each other. And so that's why you're rewarded with HNT. You're providing network coverage.
I have a question from the audience. D and B asks, do you ship to Canada? And do you ship all over the world, everywhere, basically?
Yes, we are in 30 countries. So yes, we do ship to Canada. We ship all over Europe. We'll be getting into India in the next 6 months, and we'll be getting into Asia hopefully in the next 3 months or so, and Australia. So and Africa is going to be a little bit longer for us because licensing is pretty tough out there. But yeah, we're in 30 countries.
And you also set these up for businesses, right?
Absolutely. Actually, that right there is one of our biggest opportunities, is that we're partnering with IoT device makers. So not only they can deploy their IoT devices out into the world, but we can add our chip in there where not only are they deploying it, but now they can start making money back for securing their own network that they're using. It's really cool. And so these types of partnerships are really, really exciting.
Now,
Peter, let me cut you off real quick. Peter, you still down with Doge?
Oh, bro. I don't want to tell you how much I own, but I'll tell you today, I feel happy about that Doge.
Up 500% at 4.5 cents a piece. Are you joking?
Dude, I've been mining that shit for like 10 years, man. It's awesome.
So Doge, for people who don't know, Doge is one of these coins that came out, was very early, right after Bitcoin. It got a huge grassroots community, but no one ever was really taking it seriously, right? It's never been really talked about as a use for anything other than people who like Doge, right?
Yeah,
but
it's a meme coin, right?
Yeah.
It's a coin for memes. It's a dog. It's a Doge. And they had at one time enough money to sponsor a NASCAR car. I think this was back in 2014 or 15, I forget. And so there was actually some real world, I guess, advertising and real world use for Dogecoin in terms of sponsoring a NASCAR car. So yeah, but definitely a meme coin. I probably would not suggest adding it to your portfolio. But if you'd like to buy some and mess around with it, Dogecoin is a great ultra, well, maybe not as much now, but usually a pretty ultra cheap token to get into. And so you can learn the ropes of cryptocurrency and not even feel bad if you lose a little bit while you're messing about.
Now, while we're talking about that, for those that are not only interested in crypto mining, but getting into cryptocurrencies, investing in general, what are some of the best practices that you could recommend to people? It's more of a set it and forget it type thing, right?
Oh yeah, that's what I think a lot of people, because they go on YouTube and they see these traders who are making these massive gains and all that nonsense. No, cryptocurrency is one of those things where you should add the asset class to your portfolio of investments and just hodl it. Just hold it. There's no need to get too sophisticated in trading. Can you make significant amounts of income on swing trading, momentum trade? I tried all this, by the way. I was okay at it. I wasn't great at it. I'm better at writing code than trading for sure. But it's one of those things that if you spend a lot of time doing it, you will get better at it 100%. Is it a fun career? Not at all. And so I wouldn't worry about that. I would look at the top 100 tokens, really spend some time to go through them, really learn about which ones are intriguing to you, because that will be the emotional pull for you to pull trigger and invest in it, right? Because then you really have some knowledge about what they're doing and you can actively support. I think this is what's so cool about cryptocurrency is that even as a retail, you don't need to be an accredited investor with, $1 million of assets to be able to invest in these asset classes. No, you can be a retail investor, go on Binance.us or create a Coinbase account. I'm sure that you guys have referrals that they can use for that. Check it out, buy some and enjoy it. You're participating not only in the future of money, but you're participating in an asset class that I believe is only going to grow and grow and grow. Right now, cryptocurrency is literally a blip on the overall monetary system that we have in this world. So if you're getting in on a blip like this, throw a couple bucks at it. I'll tell you what I do. I DCA. It's called dollar cost averaging. And so I DCA every week $100. I've been doing it for over a decade. That's all I do. I put in $100 to different crypto tokens that I enjoy and that I support, and I set it and forget it. And so I invest $100 a week. That's it. No more, no less. And overall, I'll be honest with you, overall, man, I'm crushing it. I'm crushing it because everything's growing. The entire market is growing. And so if you choose the right tokens and you are willing to hodl on and hodl strong, I mean, just in early 2017, Bitcoin was at like $1,200. Like, I remember those days. I remember I think it was July of 2017 where it just hit $5,000. I mean, we were having parties, man. And now it's at 40 grand. Oof. Those gains, guys. Those gains.
Yeah, just a comment, because most people just want to know, well, how much money can I make realistically? And so I'll tell you my experience. When I got in 2016, I turned $1,500 into $106,000 in just over a year. So that was a lot of Bitcoin then. At the time, that was a lot of Bitcoin. Bro. So, and what we're about to see, the growth that we're going to see is going to be exponentially higher than it was in 2016, 2017. The realm that we're moving into over the next, I'd say 18 to 24 months is going to make paupers into millionaires. So bro, now is
you're completely right. 100%. 100%. Cory is right on the money, guys. I mean, he's been here just as long as I've been here. And he's spitting the truth right there. I mean, it's absolutely a valuable asset class. Don't go all in, but be smart about it and enjoy the ride for what it is, right? If there's so many websites out there that will show you merely the overall annualized growth of these tokens over like a 3 to 5 year period, and you just track them, you're like, holy crap, this thing's like up 1,700% over the last 5 years. This one's up 900%, and so it really is, it's far more effective and it makes far more money than a mutual fund or IRA or even a 401k. A 401 lame is what I call it. Like, what a waste. Like, you can make more money on one token with $100 than you'll make on interest on your 401k in a year. And so for me, it's just a no-brainer.
Speaking of 401k and our current financial system, do you see an inevitable crash of the current fiat system?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you see, and how? What type of time frame?
I can't tell you when it's going to happen, but the fact of the matter is, from a statistical analysis standpoint, it has to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And so you just can't keep printing money indefinitely. Like, that's the only idea that you have to sit on is, if we printed money indefinitely, what do you think would happen? And let your mind wander. Let your mind enjoy that mindscape, right? That escapism for a second. What if we could print money indefinitely? Your mind is eventually going to end up in the gutter, right? You're going to end up thinking, wow, if we print money, then maybe it's going to cost me $1,000 for a gallon of milk. Maybe there's going to be a lot of economic inequalities. It seems like if we constantly keep printing dollars, it's not going to be worth a lot. And so Bitcoin is a great hedge against that. Obviously, I also recommend gold and silver. I have to say that just for my own edification. I think it's smart to invest in heavy metals. No, Cory, no, come on, just a little bit. 2%, baby, is all I'm asking for, man.
I'm a maximalist. Sorry.
Okay. So he clearly has a bias and some dogmatism that he needs to shake off. 2%, man, put into some heavy metals like gold and silver, diversify like 12% into cryptocurrency, and stay with the traditional stuff if you want. But
you probably make more money in Vegas at the slots than with gold and silver.
I mean, from a economic historical view, you're right, because we ain't making a whole lot of money on gold. However, it is another diversified asset class that I think is.
I just fear that when Bitcoin really starts to really pop, breaks 100,000, that's the next metric. You're going to see people shorting gold. You're going to see gold get squished. You're going to see like GameStop kind of stuff happen. You want to talk about the GameStop incident? I think it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about that?
I can't believe Robinhood's like suing them, man. Lawsuit, dude. But the irony though, isn't it the irony? Like all these guys in $5,000 suits are crying that they got gamed. It's like they're playing momentum trading just like you play momentum trading, except you only like winning, and so you really are kind of a sore loser because you lost a lot of money on a momentum trade. That's what trading is all about. And if they bail them out, Cory, I'm gonna go on Twitter, man, because I I heard some kind of color commentary about banks bailing them out. I'm like, are you kidding me?
They're all in a big club together. That's why they all bail each other out, because they all have each other's
Right.
back and they all blackmail each other. That's the unspoken element of the banking world.
You're not wrong. The best way to hold power in that type of world is have dirt on everybody else, right?
The one thing that I think is really the most fundamental aspect of cryptos in general, that it's the most beneficial to all of us, is that it is the only alternative to the current financial system. We don't have another alternative. We don't.
Really
and so
don't.
when they try to go to this digital communism crap and the government issued digital currency, the only avenue of escape is going to be cryptos and Bitcoin.
Yes. Your self-sovereignty, your true ownership and personal responsibility of your own life is yours and yours alone. And so I believe that part of financial responsibility is taking a dive into the next level of personal responsibility, which is owning your own value. It requires you to have some new behaviors, and it requires you to do maybe a couple extra steps for security, but ain't nobody able to take it from you, right? If you have all your money at the bank, they could take it at any time. There's no safety in that. And you might say, well, Peter, at least I know it's there, and it's FDIC insured to 250 grand. It's like, bro, trust me, when everything goes to pot and the world goes crazy, you ain't having access to none of that. And if they keep printing money, what's your money worth? What's your money worth? There's too many reasons and too much rationale around this. Going back to your original question, there's too many reasons and too much rationale and too much statistical analysis that shows that we cannot keep printing money. It's going to pop. I don't know when, but cryptocurrency is a great hedge against those types of risks. A faux show.
Very cool. And Mary Kay just said that she just signed up. So thank you so much, Mary Kay, for that. That's awesome. Cory, I know you have to take off soon. Do you have any questions or comments that you would like to end with before we close out?
Yeah, let me just say that we come on the show a lot, like 5-6 times a week, and we talk about the powers that be and the problems that they're causing. And the only revolution that I see as viable is through Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. When you take back control of the money supply, you take back power of your life. And that's pretty much it. And remember, click the link below to go get your free Helium Miner. Go to freeheliumminer.com and you will sign up and you'll start making crypto.
Definitely, yeah. The link is right in the description. Mary, thank you for signing up. And you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. I mean, free money. Who doesn't want to make free money? I mean, it just comes down to that. That's as great as that.
And actually, I'll help you guys out even more.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for cutting you off there, but but you can order more through their links, and so the more that you order, the more you can earn. So I have about 26 of these around my entire neighborhood, and each of the hotspots are earning about let me be real, about 4 to 8. I just gave you the top end, but it's about 4 to 8 HNT per day, because since we're so close and they're talking with each other all the time. We are not only proving to Helium that we have a very robust network. So if any IoT device makers want to bring their devices into this area, or you buy one online and you want to use it, our city is covered with this free wireless network. And so Helium rewards us a lot more than other hotspots because they're not talking with as many other people. And so the more that you get and you pass out, the more you can earn. It's a very simple function.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's so simple. And Chris Topher in the chat just said he signed up as well. So that is awesome. Yeah, thank you guys for signing up. You don't want to miss it. This seems like such an amazing opportunity to make money and free money at that. So Peter, is there any other important points that you'd like to get out about the cool spot or anything in general about cryptos before we head out for the night?
No, just make sure that you try it. I'm offering you a $300 device for free that you connect to your iPhone or mobile device and your Wi-Fi, and you start making money. And so just try it. If you don't like it, you can always ship it back. And so we don't mind that. But it also, I'm hoping it'll get you excited about what cryptocurrency is all about. And so hopefully this will be your first, maybe for some of you, your first dip into the cryptocurrency world in a non-aggressive and non-ridiculously sophisticated manner. And I hope that you learn and you stay, because the cryptocurrency world is here. It's only getting bigger. It's what I've staked, and I'm maybe a little bit more of a champ here, but I've staked my entire life on it. I've been built an entire $10 million venture fund to invest in this world of cryptocurrency. So I'm all in, guys. So if you're smelling what I'm selling, make sure that you click the link and grab it from these guys. They're awesome. Thanks.
Yes, definitely. Click that link in below and check it out. You definitely don't want to miss it. We're very excited for the opportunity as well.
Oh, real quick, one more thing. I just want to remind everybody, Saturday afternoon. I'm going to be doing another 3 to 4 hour presentation on candidate debunking Fred Litwin's book. So make sure you guys tune in on Saturday.
Yeah, that's going to be a good time. All right. Thank you so much, Peter. And until next time, everyone, have an excellent evening.